Okay, let's talk about Hoot chapter 16 through 18. We want to share our thoughts about the process of police investigation that are shown in these chapters. So Officer Delinko, he finds a green cloth that belonged to a green t-shirt, and later he finds out that the green t-shirt is actually too small for Dana Matherson, who has been arrested for the vandalism. So Officer Delinko shares his doubts and suspicions with the chief, with the captain, and he tells the captain, Captain, I don't think Dana Matherson is not the real suspect. I think there is someone else that we need to look for. But the police chief and then the captain, he just tries to shush him up, shut him up because he seeks convenience rather than, justice. So he just wants to keep Dana Matherson jailed, although there are some evidence that's pointing that Dana Matherson might not be the real person that they're looking for. So I think this is the beginning of corruption when people start prioritizing convenience over what is right, and when people, make compromises by ignoring facts and evidence for their own good and for their personal gain, then I think corruption starts happening. So I think Officer Delinko is slowly changing into a more mature person. Although he's an adult, he can definitely grow over experiences. So he is, you know, showing a lot of dedication to finding the truth as a police officer. But the chief of the police, the captain, is trying uh, to just shove it into the carpet, and then just like hide the facts. So I think if we value honesty more than anything, then we can serve the justice. But when we value the convenience and personal gains over the facts and evidence and justice, then corruption starts happening. Okay. Yeah, what kind of thoughts and feelings is Officer Delinko having? So Officer Delinko, because he fell asleep during his night shift when he was supposed to keep an eye on the construction site, the bullet fingers came to his car and then sprayed black paint all over the window of the police car, and that was reported all over the newspaper, and he felt very ashamed and felt very frustrated, and then he was mocked and ridiculed by people. So he is still under a lot of pressure, that he needs to make an impression. He needs to do extra well in this investigation. His father and his older brother, they are detectives, so he wants to become like them more than a police officer. He wants to be promoted and become a detective. But while looking at the construction sites, he is seeing the signs of the owls. He is looking at you know, how the owls have made habitats for themselves at the construction site. So he feels very much conflicted, and this is the time when we readers start relating to this character. Well, Officer Delinko, there are some parts of it, there are some personalities of him that make us a little bit cringe. Oh, he's very overly ambitious, and all he cares about is advancing his own career. But here at this part, he starts actually really debating, and then he feels actually conflicted inside. So as readers, we feel more related to this character, because even adults, they can have experiences of growth by giving themselves more chances of deeper, thoughts, and then deeper consideration. Okay, and then the third question was about, can ordinary people make changes in history? So in history class, Roy stands up and tells all the kids in the class to join him for a protest at the construction site tomorrow at noon. He says that he's going to be there even by himself to save the owls. So, as a new kid, if I were Roy, I wouldn't be able to stand up in front of everybody and talk like that because other kids could think of me as a weirdo or think of me as an attention seeker, then that could ruin my reputation as a new kid into at the school. But Roy didn't care about that, but he just stood up for what is right. And I think like a small action by one individual can create ripples and then can spark larger movements. So I think definitely histories are mainly made by ordinary people. And there are examples from history. If I were to take one example, I would like to talk about the civil rights movement from modern American history. So about 100 years ago, Black Americans, African Americans, they were harshly discriminated against. And it was not a politician, like a powerful individual who started the movement. It was just a regular, ordinary black woman named Rosa Parks. She thought it was very unfair that black people had to give up their seats to white people. I mean, all people are created equal, right? So she refused to give up her seat to a white man. And that just sparked a nationwide movement, which was called civil rights movement later. And that led to the equality, the legal equality between blacks and whites in America. So courageous acts of ordinary individuals, even the small actions can create changes and then they can make a difference. So I think anybody can be a hero, even you and I, even a little kid like Roy, if they're willing to stand up for what is right, if they're willing to voice their opinions courageously, I think small actions can lead to meaningful changes. Yeah. Okay. Uh, thank you for the discussion. All right.